107.5 WGCI, the home of Summer Jam, starring Ari Lennox, Division, Chance the Rapper, Chloe Bailey, Wale Tink, Gucci Mane, and more. Sunday, September 18th at Cross Point Park. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com, all right? You know what it is. It's the morning show with the Destin legend, Leon Rogers.
Yes, sir.
The beautiful Kendrick G.
Morning.
Myself, the shortest stand man in Chicago, Kyle. And we have black excellence in the studio this morning in Chicago. They got a new movie out called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Listen, Miss Regina Hall is here. Yes. And Mr. Sterling K. Brown is here.
Now, look,
yes.
I always wanted to do this with Sterling.
Talk to me.
I am Zale Dasu.
Yo, it's such a pleasure to have y'all here and together, man. This is amazing, man. Just for you guys coming in studio and kicking with us, we're appreciative.
They both look real fresh. I'm loving the side parts,
Thank
Sterling.
you very
I'm
much.
sitting right next to the fresh haircut.
Side
Wanna
bar
check
is
it out?
necessary. It gives a little definition. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You got that good coil.
That's just it. Yeah.
You got a lot of hair.
Yeah.
I got a lot of hair. I figure I'm 46. I still got them. I'm going to grow it out for a little bit.
Okay.
Post Randall. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so let's talk about it. We'll start with the movie. There's so many things we could talk to you all about, but we know right now it's about the movie Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, a comedy. The First Lady and the Pastor.
Shake it for the Lord.
I've seen the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I understand that the setup is a pastor and his first lady have a little controversy.
Yes, sir.
Lose the congregation and got to
That's
get
it.
them back.
That's it.
That happens all the time in real life.
Right.
Who did y'all reach out
And
to?
as usual, the first lady didn't do nothing.
I know.
You throwing it off just got under the bus.
Well,
like-
As she looks at him.
The start of the
Right.
scandal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah.
I did do that.
Yeah,
Scandalous
allegedly.
type stuff. Allegedly.
Do you want to keep the scandal a secret?
We don't keep it a
Yeah.
secret.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
keep the
We
scandal
keep the
a secret.
scandal a secret. Who do we reach out to?
Yeah.
I didn't reach out to anybody.
What's that pastor name that was cheating on his wife?
John Gray.
John Gray. Y'all hit John Gray up for some inspiration?
You know what? I texted him, and for some reason he didn't hit me back. And I was like, "Damn, John, I was trying to."
He hit me
put
back.
You know,
You know,
I bet he did. One of the things about this movie, though, the fact that Jordan Peele's behind it. Yes, that's a big deal. Of course, Daniel Kaluuya, that's a big deal. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Talk about
Shout out
working
to
with
Nope.
these guys and how this project came together working with them.
How'd it come together, Regina?
So really, our producer and our director, the Evo twins, Adama and Adane, wrote a script and they took it to Daniel Kaluuya's company.
Yeah.
And you know, they raised the money to produce it, and then we shot it, and then it went to Sundance.
Right.
And
Where y'all won awards. Yes.
We got bought.
yeah, it's so.
So we
That's the biggest award right
That was
there.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And we weren't in
Focus.
the competition section.
Right.
Okay.
And then that's when Jordan Peele got really excited and wanted to come on board, and then we went to Focus.
Yes.
Regina, I want to talk to you. I mean, you've been in so many movies, and I feel like we were talking about this off the mic, how you do have a comedic, feel to you. So in this role as a first lady, will we see that side to you? And how was it just playing a first lady?
You know what? It was different. Because they're
Did you cuss? 'Cause I know you like to cuss.
assault.
She cussed a little bit.
I did. Did I
A
cuss?
little bit. You cussed a little
Okay.
bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I lost it every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, me and Sterling we were acting a fool on. I mean,
Natural born.
natural born.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trinity and Lee Curtis, they not right.
There's something a little bit unhinged about this
Yeah,
power
yeah,
couple.
it
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
It is.
So you get a chance to see them when they do their public persona, but like really, it's fun when you see them when the cameras aren't on them. You know what I'm saying? We have this idea that folks are holier than thou, but they just people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, piggybacking off that, Sterling and Regina, what did you guys use to study for these roles? Because you both have a wide range. You both move around. I mean, you be having my mama crying, This Is Us all the time.
Man, listen.
So like when you sat down to study for these roles, like who did you study? Did you study TV evangelists and their first ladies, or like did you go to like the little smaller churches, because you got the Joel Osteen and the T.D. Jakes of the world, or did y'all try to find like little local people?
I mean, you start off with your own life. I've been growing up in the church since I was 5 years old or whatnot, so you remember different pastors from your own personal life. But then this guy does have a mega church, so there's something about seeing yourself on the Jumbotron and how that feels. So you watch the Joels, you watch the TDs, you watch the Creflos, et cetera, et cetera. You sort of pick and choose little things from them that you think could be useful for the character.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of controversy, as you guys alluded to earlier, going on right now in social media with pastors and the things that are going on. We were just talking this morning about the one pastor who got in trouble for calling his church members broke and busted or whatever.
Kansas City.
Yeah, and then there was the other one. It was just
That's real kindness.
Yeah.
That's real kindness.
What did he want? Like, was it the
they weren't giving enough money in the tithes,
And the
so he was like they wasn't supporting him.
He called them broke, busted, and disgusted. I tell y'all lie because I am.
Right.
But because they buy Prada, though. He said they buy Prada.
Yeah, he
Right,
said
but they
y'all
wasn't
You can buy
tithing.
Prada, you can give money to the Lord.
He's like, I want to buy the product.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go back a couple of weeks ago, there was the pastor, I believe it was in New York.
My man
who
got
was-
jacked with 400,000.
Yes, and you saw his closet and he was showing off his crib. So I guess I'm bringing that
And
to
the ones
say
with the holes.
all the ones with the holes.
Yeah.
Can't forget the ones with the hole.
Almost made me want to go to church.
My question for you all is, was there anything that was a little sensitive in dealing with church subject matter, you know, when it comes to like, well, you know, we want to represent a certain thing from church without pissing off the church congregation, or you guys didn't care at all and just went for it?
I think
Regina.
we didn't care. When I say we didn't care, it's not
Okay.
that we didn't care. We didn't highlight it as good or bad, but it was there.
Right.
So you can make your own.
That's a
judgment,
good
but
way
it
of
was-
saying
it
it.
was-
We try to come from a place of love because we love, respect, and understand
Absolutely.
the importance of the black church in our community. Also think there's some
Historically.
things worth of critiquing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The idea that like my walk with God should be tantamount to how much money I have,
Right.
like shows how well I'm in His grace, is maybe something that we could rethink.
Sterling, you're on GCI. You need to go back to that word tantamount and break it down. Right there, no, you had a couple of cats like, man, yeah, what are you talking about? Some tenants? Nobody got no tenants in the church.
Yeah.
What's a
yeah,
tantamount?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
they'll be looking that up in the Bible. It's the Mount Tanamount.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Which was that the one
Is that
Moses
the
came
Old
down?
Testament?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
bricks.
Yeah.
When he had the bricks, he
Yeah.
came down from Mount Tanamount.
It's hilarious.
What I like about though, as the Christian woman on the show, because they
Wow.
Who cusses a lot.
A lot,
this is
more
true.
than
That's
anybody.
why I'm happy you brought that point up.
Yes.
I know a lot of like
Yeah.
first ladies and pastors,
Yeah.
and they're real people. Like
They are.
Sure.
I think a lot of times people go to church, they expect perfection,
Right.
And that's not the truth.
No.
So if you know a lot of first ladies, like when I was watching the trailer, I didn't watch the whole movie. I was like, she reminds me. I don't want to say anybody's name because you know, but you remind me of first ladies that I know because there really are real people, and they be wanting to cuss you out, but they be like, bless your heart. And then when you walk away, they be calling you a B, but you just don't hear because that part you walked away.
Right.
Right.
So I feel like, you know, hopefully this will open the eyes to people who that do go to church that realize that first ladies and pastors are just regular people.
You know, the whole idea too is to show, like, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff that's not amazing that people do, but there's a humanity in both of them.
Sure.
And Lee Curtis, despite his choices, and
I make some bad choices,
Yeah.
just so y'all know.
yeah, he
I'm
makes
sorry.
some bad choices,
Yeah.
and in Trinity, in her choices, because she makes choices for reasons too, but they still have good. Sometimes things start off with incredible intentions,
Yeah.
and then you know it can get too big,
Can
and,
lose your
and
way.
you can lose your way. So they lost their way a little bit.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, like, me growing up, I was raised Roman Catholic, which was weird coming
For
from where
sure.
I'm coming from. They like,
Absolutely.
you a Catholic?
I
Like,
went to
yeah.
Catholic school.
But I did too,
so
right? I
know.
actually went to seminary school,
Yeah.
wanted to be a priest, then the whole
I
thing
wanted
about
to be a
Look at that, you want to be a nun.
not to be able to have no women, and I was
You
like,
know
yeah,
what?
I'm straight
We'd
on
have been
that.
back there being bad.
Yeah, I was wild.
These two gotta go.
Yeah, once they said they said the priest can't have no booty, I was like, I don't know if I want to spread the word like that. Just go ahead and get
You
out
wanted
of
to
it.
spread something else.
But as I got older and I went to the military and I met people from all different religions and walks of life,
Yeah.
it kind of changed my perception of how I viewed the higher power, the grand architect, whatever you
Yes.
want to call it.
Okay.
When doing this movie, did you all have any revelations about your faith, like, or how people celebrate their faith? Because a lot of times I feel like religion puts rules on things which puts you in a box.
Right.
But when you walk by faith, like
Yeah.
the Buddhist monk that sits in front of a tank and is willing to die to save his monastery,
Yeah.
that's faith.
Yeah.
The person that says you can't do this at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and you can't do this and you can't do this, those are rules. That's religion.
Right.
So did you have any epiphanies or anything like that while you were doing this movie, kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, I've always I love theology. I love I love looking at people's religions. I love faith.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I love spirituality. I could literally be a nun.
Except
Except for a few things.
The main requirement is
listen, G, I was there. I was right with it. I was on my way to Niles and Wonderland.
There's something really beautiful in that relationship, right? But I have found there are many ways, right? And it's really about that which you know and believe is true in your heart.
Right.
And that connection to God
Right.
is really what faith is based on.
Yes.
It's not based on like this and that. A lot of good things come out of it, and the this and that ends up being a byproduct.
Sure.
Right? Because that love, compassion, and faith ends up but the fire and brimstone part has always been hard for me, even when I was young.
I can remember thinking as a kid, to your point, like the idea, the way I defined myself as a Christian was based upon what I did not do. Oh, I'm a Christian, I don't do that.
Right.
I don't do this. Instead of like, what is it that I stand for? What is it that I do that makes me that? And so getting into a relationship with God, with the divine, with the grand architect, I like that one, I'm going to keep it, is something that is individualistic. Like nobody can tell you if you have a relationship with God. That's between you and God.
Yeah.
So trying to make it look like I have a relationship so that other people can consume it, I don't care what you think it looks like.
Right.
I know what I have.
And I will say for some people, you know, but I also really understand and respect the comfort that religion brings.
Sure.
Like we can go to church and I can hear music
Safe.
and I can hear a
Right.
sermon and I can think it's beautiful. And there are points and where people, like I have seen people, their lives have been turned around from
Absolutely.
that. You know, it is the limitations that make it hard.
But when you say that, then I think of people like my dad, and it used to always make me laugh because my mom, before he passed, they was married 43 years. My mom, church every Sunday, leave, put your clothes on. And when I got a certain age, my father was like, that boy miserable. Stop making this. And I was, but that was my mama. I didn't want to, I was an altar boy, all that good stuff. She was proud. He was like, that boy miserable. Leave him alone. She was like, well, he needs to have a relationship with God. He said, I got a relationship with God. As soon as 12 o'clock, he know I'm going to cut this TV on and watch the beds and drink a little bit of this Crown Royal. God know that. I know that. God know that's me.
Right.
There it is. My mother used to get so irritated
Because
with
it was
him.
important for her. I met this man, and he said, you know, when I go fishing, I think I feel closer to God. All I think about is God. He said, when I go fishing, all I think about is God. And he said, but when I go to church, all I think about is fishing.
That's funny.
That's real though.
If I could ask you guys a question, because you know we introduced this interview just stating that you are both representing Black excellence here, and I'm kind of curious about where you see yourselves in your careers now. And moving forward, you know, we have greats that we've watched over the years, like Denzel Washington's and, you know, people like that. Where do you guys envision yourselves? How do you see where you are in your careers? And how do you think, like, we as the public perceive you guys? Because we think you're amazing, but I know you have goals and aspirations of your own.
You, me?
Well, I'm going to go into the adult film industry. I don't know.
No, don't laugh. Don't laugh at that.
Be respectful.
Let that rock. Be respectful.
Be respectful.
No, because I know she's being funny. I know she's being funny.
I do have to get it. Regina. I don't want
And the first movie is going to be entitled Nuns on the Run.
Yeah! Starring.
Wow.
That's right. It's us.
Instead of Regina, ought to be Regina Walls.
Regina Walls!
It looks like my career is made.
There it is.
Oh my goodness.
ABNs all day.
There it is.
That's
really good.
Best car scene 2023.
Regina, I hope you do the ones that have backstory.
Yes.
How you know
that have a good, you know,
It's film.
I'll check out some fine
And we're gonna
cinema.
shoot
all the genres. I'm a producer. Sterling and Regina, they frown on me all the time when I come in here with classics for them to watch, such as Booty Talk 42. You know what I'm saying? Night Nurses.
Well, you
7.
got another one. You gonna have another one for them to watch.
Nuns on the Run. Nuns on the Run, Volume 1.
And I want
Regina
Sterling.
Walls.
I don't know what your plan is,
Yeah.
but you know there's a job waiting for you.
Listen, I appreciate that. Talk to the missus, see what she got to say.
And let me tell you, Ryan is beautiful, so tell her to come on
Hey,
down.
she can join. If Ryan could join in too, I think we could actually
He's
do
talking about
something.
your.
Oh, hey, Nicole, you hear that? Your favorite actor, Sterling came around. So here's old lady coming. You come on too. We can be the pizza guy and delivery girl. Number
We
2.
took it.
That was the best answer I could have ever gotten anyway. I love it. So.
I apologize.
He was being a journalist.
I love it.
He really
I
was.
love it.
Regina Walls. That's going to be a catalog.
Oh yeah.
One do seven. We got the whole collection.
Pre-sales happening soon. Sell out for the
Goodness.
I'm gonna ask you a female career question, because as a woman, like, you have a career that most actresses pray for. Like, you've been working since the end of time, and I'm a woman that works in radio, and then sometimes I think like, wow, I worked on my career. I didn't think about the personal life.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge to be as successful as you are as a woman in this industry? To still be successful, did your personal life potentially suffer because of it?
You know, I could say yes, but I could also say a lot of it, you know, was me. You know, you also are, you know, I can look at. I mean, I've had beautiful relationships,
Right.
and I've had some really amazing. I sound like a hoe. No, but I've had some amazing.
Especially coming off the laugh.
You said
There
that
go
before.
Regina
Before
Walls.
you go on, you said that before. And Regina's dated like however, like serious boyfriends.
I just
5 and
said-
6 or something. I'm like, that's not a hoe.
I
Like,
guess,
this is
yeah,
you know?
because I've had a lot of, not a lot, but I guess I've had significant
Relationships.
long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And although they have not ended in like marriage, they were wonderful. Like like great men, no great guys, no negative. But it is hard when you're traveling.
Yeah.
It is hard when someone has to make a schedule around.
Because a lot of times the
It's
woman
hard.
conforms to the guy.
Yeah.
So when you're the boss,
Yeah,
how
it's
does the
hard.
man be comfortable conforming to you? So do you ever want to get married, or is that not important to you?
Well, I certainly would love to be. I say married because now you would have asked me 20 years ago and I would have said, oh, I don't care about marriage. Now, you know, as shit falls apart, I want someone legally required to watch it. You know what I mean? Someone has to be legally required to
Man,
be like.
Tell them what the
That's
living
me.
situation would be if indeed you do
well,
get married.
that-
This is very
Okay.
specific.
Okay, yeah. So how does it work?
Y'all have had this conversation.
We've had this
I had this
conversation.
conversation. I would like to have a bridge home.
A bridge home.
When you can
Yeah.
walk across to the other
Yeah,
side, come on,
and
talk
not
to the
live-
church one time.
Still be on
I'm
your
trying
side,
to
but you
build
wanna
that
be on your-
now.
Yeah.
My space.
Yes.
Y'all stay over there.
Right, and you know,
Y'all
and because
seem
I
like
think by the
soulmates.
time, I know, right, because there's a thing that I don't believe. If we're gonna be married, I have to trust you, right?
Right.
So
Sure.
if you live 5 doors down, you know, which is or the bridge house, whatever we can
Yeah.
do. Whatever you can do there, you can do there. But I do think the space to keep that would be important for me. For me, I don't think it's
Facts.
important for marriage, but for me.
Facts. I mean, we're not rich enough to have a bridge house yet, but my wife does this thing when she comes in the middle of the room. She's like, I'm going to my section.
Right.
Don't bother me. And she puts the force field up there. We don't go over there. And it's like, that's what I do. I go in the basement with the dogs. I'll be like, it's us, guys. What y'all want to do?
It's
Let's eat
nice.
some chips out the bowl together.
Everybody needs space, yeah.
Sterling. So you, brother, I mean, you know, you got your significant other, your wife.
Yeah.
How do you deal with, and I'm pretty sure you get a wide range age of women, because my aunts, my mama, my wife, they all are, oh my God, he's just so, and they crying. I'm like, you do know this not real, right? Right. So it'll be a little bit of jealousy. I ain't gonna lie, brother. I'll be mad when, you know, the women in my life be fawning over other
understand.
dudes.
Apologies.
But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that, like in the public space where sometimes people forget you have a life too, and they come up like, "Can I take a picture?"
Right. I'm uncomfortable.
Sit next to Regina. We're gonna do the movie anyway.
Regina walls.
You give them the picture and you try to set up the parameters for how you do it, so you can, you hand. In COVID, it became easier because you're like, I'm not touching people right now. It's kind of. I try to introduce my wife to everybody. Especially like if you have like an on-set love interest or whatever, like Regina and my wife Ryan get along like peas in a pod.
She's great.
And so that's easy. I think you know what you got at home. In Hollywood, people fall in love with what's new and fall in love with the idea of falling in love and that infatuation that happens in the beginning. And then you realize if you take a second and just go like, this new thing will eventually get old too. What I have right now is not worth giving up.
And Ryan's also great.
She's cool.
Yeah.
She's real cool.
She really is.
I like her a lot, and also I like my children so much, bro.
Yeah.
They're like all it takes is just like a little bit of forethought and be like, I have too much to give up to entertain anything else too far. Yeah.
There it is.
I needed that talk in '97.
We need to take that and
Around about 97 to 2003,
I probably didn't know the lesson in '97. Real talk.
Listen, Chicago, Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, out on September 2nd.
Yes.
Regina Hall,
Support that.
Sarah K. Brown. We appreciate y'all coming through today.
Appreciate y'all,
Yo,
man.
it's great
Let's
talking.
stave
Y'all are
off.
hilarious.
Let's stave off Regina's secondary career.
Please come on.
We're not ready for that yet. She still got more to do. She still got more to do. Let's start doing more in the next set of films.
It's 107.5 WGCL.